We are talking about crafting your first 5 minutes of killer comedy, which is very exciting. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Claudine. I am a professional comedian and award-winning comedy coach, and I am going to be going over today how to craft your first 5 minutes of stand-up comedy. So for those of you who are watching, who are new to comedy or who are looking to write your first set, or even those of you who are looking to write your next 5 minutes, the trick is to actually just get started, which sounds a lot easier than it is, but a lot of us have negative self-talk, negative self-belief. I'm not funny, I'm not creative, I'm staring at a blank page. What am I going to write about? So we are going to tackle all of that today. So let me know in the comments where you are from and where you are watching this from, and if you have any questions around crafting your first 5 minutes, or where you are on your comedy journey, and what you would like to be learning in terms of crafting. My tongue is tired. Crafting your first 5 minutes of killer comedy. So let me just open this document that I would like to share with everybody on today's live. Let me find out where it is. Hold on. Yeah. So, hello Soraya, hello Peyton, hello Tulls, hello. We are crafting our first 5 minutes of killer comedy today. So get a pen and paper and let's get started. Okay, I am just going live over here and making sure. Okay, so we got everything set up. Hello Sunflower, hello Nassar, hello John. Right, so the first thing we want to do when we are sitting down to even think about writing our first 5 minutes of comedy is I want us to write down where we are now in our lives. Okay, so I want us to write down where we are now. If we are feeling creatively stuck, if we're feeling blocked, what we are going through, where are you now in your life? Okay, so I want us to write that down. Once you have written that down, I want you to write down where you would like to be. So where would you like to end up? What is the dream, the goal, the desire, the vision in terms of comedy or your comedy career, or writing this first 5 minute set even? Okay, so I want us to write down where we are now, where we want to be. Hello, Chris. Okay, so let's do that. On a pen and paper, where we are now, where we want to be. Okay. In between writing where we are now and where we want to be, I want us to write the why we want to achieve that thing. So we want to go from feeling creatively blocked to writing our first 5 minutes of comedy, and the reason why is, okay? The reason why I want to be able to express myself. I think I'm really funny. I've always had it within me. I want to shine my light. I want to make other people laugh. I think I've got what it takes. Okay, so where we are now, where we want to be in terms of writing our first 5 minutes of comedy, and why we want to get there. And if the why is strong enough, we focus on the why, because then we don't need to be motivated. Okay, it's not about motivation, it's about taking the first few steps, which is always the hardest part. And if that why from where we are now to where we want to be is strong enough, then it's not about motivation. It's about getting there, because the why is the most powerful vehicle to get us towards our vision. Okay, so we have to have a really strong why. Okay, that is the first thing I want you to do when it comes to crafting your first 5 minutes, is getting into the mindset of why am I doing this? Stand-up comedy is a tough profession, and you are going to fail. You are going to fail hard. You are going to, you know, you're going to learn lots of things along the journey. It's a journey. It's a process. Nobody is an overnight success. It is something that doesn't necessarily happen overnight, but happens over time. So if you are going to put in the time, the dedication, the practice in writing your first 5 minutes, or mastering the craft of stand-up comedy, your why needs to be so strong, because this is a really tough journey. Now, I've been in the trenches. I have, I started off with my first 5 minutes and slowly built up to, one-woman shows and touring the world with stand-up comedy. But it took 7 years at least of dedication, of being out at the clubs every single night, and I say this not to scare you, because the process has been really fun and exciting and so fulfilling. But I say this to say that your mindset before anything needs to be right, because once you have a mindset shift and your why is strong enough, then anything you encounter on the way becomes secondary. Any failure you encounter on the way becomes secondary, because you are so ignited, you are so determined to achieve this vision, to give this thing a go, to try this thing. And that is the sort of dedication it takes to become a stand-up comedian. Okay? So once you have changed that mindset and your why is completely strong, and you know exactly what you are wanting to achieve with your first 5 minutes or your entire comedy career, we are ready to get started on the actual material. Okay? But first, it's the mindset. Okay? So what are we going to write about? Okay? We are going to start by drawing on personal experiences. So if you already don't keep a diary, or don't write down your dreams, or don't write down what you're going through, you're going to start with keeping a journal. Okay? Love doing this with my nails. All right, this is when I'm serious. This is business Claudine. Okay? So start with keeping a journal. And I want you to write down personal experiences, awkward experiences, funny experiences that you've had in your relationships, work, travel, okay? Anything that you've gone through that you find slightly funny, awkward, or strange in some way. Anything that's a little bit off, okay? I want you to write about. Now you're saying, oh, Claudine, but I'm a political comedian and I only want to write about politics. That is fine. But if we are crafting our first 5 minutes, I want us to start with what we know. And what we know is who we are, because nobody is better at being you than you. So I want you to start off by keeping a journal of your personal experiences. Once you have these personal experiences down, go ahead, do observations, observe different people, observe what's going on in the world, make those observations, write your opinions down about it, and just start to become really good at you, an awareness of who you are. an awareness of what is going on around you, and start writing from a space of what you know. Okay, I teach a lot of and also perform a lot of improv comedy, and in improv comedy we learn to write always from our truth, but we learn to write from top of intelligence, which means that the first idea that comes to mind, the first idea in this Rolodex that we can get our hands on, is often the most genius. But what happens is we stand in our own way. Our self-sabotage center at the back of the brain goes off and says, we're not good enough, we can't do this, we're not worthy. Okay, so I want you to write down from top of intelligence the first ideas that come to mind. Write as if no one is looking, because no one is looking yet. Okay, once you have written down these, once we've changed the mindset, then once you have written down and journaled about your personal experiences, observations, opinions, okay, I want us to go through this list of all these funny things, and I want us to look for places where we can find patterns, where we can heighten and exaggerate the situation, or not necessarily the situation, but where can we embellish, okay? Where can we heighten? Because even though jokes and comedy and improv and clowning is based on truth, there is an exaggeration or a heightening or an embellishment that takes our comedy from the normal, real, serious world to the surreal, to the funny. Okay, so I want us to, once we've written down the observation, what's the joke? What's the joke? Where's the funny? Okay, we're going to mine now for the funny in this, in our personal observations. Okay, we're going to see where we can heighten and we can exaggerate, and then we're going to look for patterns and connections. How are these two things related? Or what can I relate to this thing that is funny? Okay. Once you have that, it's about structuring your set. Okay. Once you've written once you've written your jokes, right? Once you've found these patterns and connections, once you have found what is funny, what is odd, what is strange, what is exciting, once you've heightened, okay, now how do we structure the 5-minute set? Okay, we always like to open with something that is strong, something that is fire. Remember, these people don't know you. You're not doing comedy in front of your family, okay? So you need to come out and open with something that grabs people's attention. It's your hook, okay? You'll see a lot of newbie comedian and amateur comedians come out and they go, yeah, give it up for the guy who just went. Yeah, how's your night going? Okay, you're not at the place in your comedy career yet where you can be making small talk and doing crowd work. Okay, focus on starting with something that is strong, your hook, something that gets the audience laughing and engaging. Okay, we like to start off with some strong material. Then we like to have our body of jokes. And what I would encourage you to do is to kind of, if you can, keep the material around 1 or 2 topics, right? This is only 5 minutes of material. It's not a lot. At first, it's going to seem like it's a lot of time, okay? But you don't want to be talking about, hopping from one topic to another, because being able to flow from one joke to the next is an art in itself. So I would suggest finding and crafting a few jokes that fit around 1 or 2 topics within your personal life. Okay, so that is going to be the body. All right, you're gonna put maybe who knows? It depends on what sort of comedy you're doing, but the body of your jokes are going to be in the middle, but you've started off really strong with that hook. Your end joke is your best joke. We want the biggest laugh at the end, and that is because we want the audience to go, I don't necessarily remember much of that set, but that last joke, fire. Okay, so our opening joke is strong, it's a hook, and our last joke is always memorable. Memorable. That is the word. Memorable. Hilarious. Okay. Now, eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to get used to transitions and being able to transition from one joke to another. But for now, I would just start with jokes that pertain to one or two subject matters and, getting the jokes out onto paper and then being able to perform. Okay? When it comes to the performance of your set, practice, practice, practice. I mean, out loud. Take your first 5 minutes and get booked on as many stages as possible, wherever you can. Practice. Iron out these jokes. Okay? The easiest way to do that is to record your set. Okay? There are going to be failures. There are going to be jokes that you don't get laughs at. This is fantastic because when we bomb when we're first starting out, the stakes are really low because we're usually doing a 5-minute set. So we don't have, a lot, the stakes aren't very high. So this is the time to fail, and this is the time to fail hard. So record your sets, and then you come back, you refine your material, and you rewrite your material. Okay? So that is a really simple, easy framework to get you started, but it starts off with fixing your mindset. Okay? If you have found this helpful, I am going to be running a masterclass on the 17th of November at, I'm not too sure of the time, I need to look it up, okay, but I'm going to be running a masterclass on the 17th of November. It is a virtual masterclass. I will put the link down below in this live on all platforms. I'll put it in my profile as well. Sign up to that masterclass, okay, and we can discuss more how to get started and how to write your first 5 minutes of comedy. So if you guys want to go from block to brilliant, sign up to the masterclass happening on the 17th of November. I will see you guys there and we can discuss your first 5 minutes of killer comedy. You guys are amazing. Angel doves, stay hilarious.